First of all, are you seeing the grey? Your boy's getting old. Even from the side there, you can see some grey action going on. Well, welcome back, gents. What I wanted to speak about today is what the best version of you does. The best version of you, how that person carries himself. I want you to start thinking about that. Why do I want you to start thinking about that? Because I want you to reverse engineer the life that you want. Work backwards. If I told you to think about the best version of you, you're going to think about a guy that's jacked, that is financially well off, that dresses really well, that probably has a lot of status, right? Is respected within his community, within his organization, within his industry, right? A man with a loving wife and a beautiful family. That's what you think of. Now, how do we get there? How do we get to that guy? What do we need to do now to get to that guy? And the answer is very simple. Be that guy today. Now, you might be thinking, well, hang on, Ali, I don't have the money. I'm not jacked. What do you mean, be the guy today? What I mean is engage in the same habits that dream version of yourself engages in, but do it today. So that guy probably goes to the gym 5-6 days a week. He's health conscious, right? It's not just about being a big dude and lifting a lot of heavy stuff. It's about being health conscious. Your lifestyle decisions when it comes to the food that you eat, when it comes to, just being out in nature, getting your steps in, being a health conscious guy, you can do that today. You don't have to wait until you become that version. You become that guy by doing these things today. So you're health conscious. Financially, you might be thinking, well, Ali, I'm not that dream guy yet because I'm broke right now. Okay. Well, I want you to act like you're not broke. Because if you act like you're broke, you will remain broke. And one clear distinction I want to make, gentlemen, is that broke is temporary, poor is permanent. I'm going to say that again. Broke is temporary and poor is permanent. Broke is, we all go through periods in our lives where perhaps we made an investment in a business, it didn't quite work out, we lost a lot of money. We might end up having to work regular jobs just to get ourselves back on track. Right? You get fired from a job that was pretty safe and stable, and now you're doing a job that you've never done before, a lesser, I say lesser in quotes, because the way I see it is, as long as what you do is moral, legal, and ethical, there's no such thing as a bad job. As long as those three criteria are ticked, right? Moral, legal, and ethical. If what you do is moral, legal, and ethical, then that's fantastic. You shouldn't look down on yourself because you work a lower skilled job. You can want more for yourself, but don't say, oh, my job is crap. No. You make an honest living. You're taking care of yourself. You're being responsible. Now, what I would encourage you to do is to start looking at ways to improve your skill sets, to make yourself, better suited for these higher paid jobs. So when these corporations look at you, they can say, oh, well, he's got the skills, right? Make yourself a more attractive proposition. Because remember, Jim Rohn used to say that success is not something you chase, it's something you attract by becoming an attractive person. In every way, by the way. This is also in terms of your looks. Yes, companies will recruit people that they find to be more attractive, not just physically, but their overall demeanor, their energy. They can see that you're a person with flavor. You've got some spice to you. Yeah, you've got some hobbies outside of work. You play the saxophone. You do a bit of art. You do some jujitsu, right? You love repairing your motorcycle. They want to recruit people into their organizations that have a soul. You don't just want a lifeless corpse that just ticks all the boxes in terms of qualifications, but just doesn't have any life in them. No, you don't want that. So yes, make yourself a more attractive proposition in every way. Physically, if you're in great shape and you're sat in front of a recruiter, they can see, oh, this guy trains, he's disciplined. Nice. He takes care of himself. Your clothes fit you well. You smell really nice. That all makes a difference. Now, some of you might get upset about that and say, well, all that matters is what's on the inside. No, I'm sorry. That's not the way life works. People can't see your personality. They see what is physically in front of them first before they then get to know you. So for those of you guys that are upset because women don't see you for you, it's time for a wake-up call. They see what they see first physically. They look you up and down and they make an assessment. This guy doesn't seem, you might be a lovely guy, but to them, you don't seem like the right fit. Okay, so make yourself as attractive as possible in every way. Because yes, human beings, we do make immediate conclusions. We immediately, in our minds, decide on a person based on what we see. Okay? We cut to the chase. People judge you very quickly. So make your first impression a good first impression. All right? Because first impressions last. Absolutely they do. Okay? Just start thinking about that ideal version of you and how he carries himself. He works out. He takes good care of himself. He never tells himself that he's poor and that he'll never make it. No, if you are going through financial troubles, don't talk about them all the time. Oh, I'm going through financial troubles and the money's low. Because then you're bathing in your misfortune. Then you're really starting to feel sorry for yourself. But if you tell yourself, no, this is a temporary period in my life. I am being prepared for something way bigger. I am growing through what I am going through. Remember that. Okay, you grow through what you go through. So even when you go through hardship, you're becoming better as a result of that hardship. You're learning something. You're not losing anything. You only start losing if you see yourself as a loser and you talk to yourself like a loser and you start feeling sorry for yourself. Don't ever do that, right? So yes, even though you're not that guy yet that has the money and you feel that way today. You wake up every single day, you expect to close big deals. Of course, people are going to do business with me. Of course, people are going to see my video and think, oh, I like this guy. Let me subscribe to his channel to see what else he has. This doesn't come from a place of arrogance. This comes from a place of betting on yourself, believing in your potential, right? There's nothing wrong with liking yourself and admitting that you do provide value, that you are good at a few things. It's almost like so many guys now are afraid of talking well about themselves because they don't want to come across arrogant. No, if you're good at something, say you're good at it. Stop being apologetic. Stop looking around thinking, well, what if people think I'm arrogant? Let them think that. Let them think that. If you make people feel insecure when you talk about the things that you're good at, that's their problem. That's not your problem to sort out. I would feel inspired by somebody who talks about some of the things that they do very well, because in my mind, the way I process that is, that's incredible. If he's been able to do that, so can I. Let me see what else he's great at that I could potentially learn from. That's a productive thought process. I've never looked at anybody doing better than me and thought, oh, that fucking prick, right? I've never felt that way. Because for me to feel that way, it means that I seriously dislike myself and I don't have any confidence in my ability to go out there and replicate that success or even do better than that success, right? So, yes, acknowledge that, you know what, you're going through a rough patch, but things are going to get a whole lot better. When it comes to women, conduct yourself like the man that she wants to marry, even though you might not be where you want to be in life and all that sort of stuff. Don't sit there and think, well, you know, when you're on a date with her, don't be like, oh, well, you know, by the way, like I'm really struggling right now. Don't act like the guy now. Let her believe in who you are and where you're going. And most importantly, if you are an ambitious guy, what she would want to see is that you put that ambition to work. I'm going to say that again. You put that ambition to work. Don't be that guy that talks a bunch of smack to a girl on a first date or a second date about what you want to do and in the future and then you do nothing with it 6 months later, because she's going to see through your BS and she's going to think, man, what a loser. But a woman that sees a guy taking action on his ambition, she's going to think, oh, this is a dude I want to hold on to because this guy is going places. This man right here, he could be the next Bitcoin, right? I don't want to miss out on this investment. This dude is going places. So you show a woman through your actions that you're serious about your future. Don't sit there talking about what you intend on doing and never doing anything about that intent, right? Intent without action means nothing. It means nothing. It's like that other saying as well, to know and not do is to not know at all. There's no fucking point talking about stuff if you're not going to follow through on them. It just makes you look stupid, okay? So even if you're not where you want to be financially, you still meet a girl. As long as you're responsible, by the way, let me put a caveat to that. As long as you're not absolutely struggling and you can't afford to eat and have shelter, if that's the case for you right now, you've got bigger things to worry about. But if you're doing okay, you've got your own place, you've got a car, but you're not quite there yet financially, don't worry, right? Meet this girl, take her out if you find her beautiful. Pay for the full meal yourself. Don't live in scarcity. She asks you what you do, you tell her. Let her discover. It's always a better idea for her to discover your passion project by seeing you work on it than by you sat there saying, I want to do this, and then I want to do that, and I want to do this, because then it feels like you're just qualifying. You're really just trying to win her over by talking about the future, right? Let her find out, oh, this he uploads content, or he's got an e-commerce business, he's doing let her discover that, right? But act as the guy right now. You want status? That's very easy to attain. And the way it works with status, gents, is you act like a man that is worth knowing today. When you walk into a room, you look at everybody, you introduce yourself. If there's 5 or 6 people, you introduce yourself to these people. Hi, my name is Ali, nice to meet you, right? Eye contact, nice to meet you, right? Even if you don't plan on being there very long. Just that simple act right there puts you in a separate category, because most guys, they're so fearful of the simplest social encounters. So that will make you look, oh, okay. You know, this guy's, there's something about him. He seems to be switched on, right? When you're in a sales meeting at work, voice your opinion on things. Don't just be quiet and wait for your manager to drag you into the meeting. No, offer your input. You know, get hands-on, take initiative, be resourceful. Introduce people to each other that you feel may help each other out. You know, that makes you memorable. It really does. People will never forget a guy that put them onto something, that connected them with somebody else that they managed to do business with or buy a car from or do it. You know, you become somebody that people really admire. And they start thinking of you whenever they think of opportunities. Maybe they come across an opportunity in the future that could really help you. You're the first guy in mind. You know what? This guy helped me out. He connected me to somebody before that I did business with. That was a really good connection. You know what? I want to plug him into something as well, because I want to help the guy out. Like he helped me out, I want to help him out, right? People start thinking of you in a room full of opportunities. And that's because you were resourceful. You took initiative. You weren't just like, well, I'm scared. You know, you weren't just fearful going into a room afraid of being seen. No. So gents, act as the guy that you intend on becoming today. There's no separation between you and that guy. The only separation is time. You will be that guy, but you got to act as that guy now if you want to be that guy. Hope I'm making sense here, right? It's like the saying, act as if. But I don't want you to feel like you're doing something fake, because you're not. When you take care of your health right now, that's a good thing. When you are a resourceful individual, when you are a great networker, communicator, that's fantastic. You can do that now. You don't have to wait until, it's just, I'm saying as if you can wait until you become successful. You won't become successful if you don't do these things, right? But be that guy today. The man that you truly want to become, be him today. Okay, and if you want to learn more about how to improve your communication skills, your confidence, your sales skills, amongst many other things, your style and your fitness, do check out the link in the description below to the community, the top 3% that I launched back in March or end of Feb. I think it might have been end of Feb actually, of this year. Okay, you can see some of the testimonials. And we have members all around the world that are achieving remarkable things. Thanks for watching, gents. Hope you have a lovely Friday, and I'll catch you in the next one.